morning, Unity family. Wow, this feels good. Today at 11:32 p.m. Eastern Time, summer begins, as well as today is Father's Day. There are some lyricists who write music that is just so vivid. If you close your eyes, it's almost as if you can see what the artist is seeing when you wrote the lyric. I invite you to close your eyes and picture this in your mind. Silently, the morning mist is lying on the water, captive moonlight waiting for the dawn. Softly like a baby's breath, a breeze begins to whisper, the sun is coming quick, you must be gone. Smiling like a superstar, the morning comes in singing, the promise of another sunny day. All the flowers open up to gather in the sunshine. I do believe that summer's here to stay. Do you care what's happening around you? Do you sense all the changes when they come? Can you feel yourself reflected in the season? Can you understand the need to carry on? Writing on the tapestry of all there is to see, so many ways and oh, so many things. Rejoicing in the differences, there's no one quite like me, but as different as we are, we're still the same. And oh, I love the life within me. I feel a part of everything I see. And oh, I love the life around me. A part of everything is here in me. A part of everything is here in me. A part of everything is here in me. Welcome to Unity North Tampa. Today is Father's Day 2021, and we have a special song to share with you by Daniel Maymont called Father of My Soul. Thank you for the blessing. silence and song, for the calm and confusion, for the danger and war. Oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of our day. Oh, Father of my heart, thank you for the blessings of our day. Oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of our day. Oh, Mother of my heart, thank you for the blessings of our day.
Wow, what a wonderful way to start the service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, Unity North Tampa. Good to see you all. Good to see people sitting in chairs. We are so grateful for this time and this place where we come together to move into the most expanded place of spiritual understanding as we join together as one. So I'm going to invite you to just gently close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you as we open our service in a most sacred way. A most sacred way. As we breathe in the breath of Spirit all around us, we come together as a spiritual community. A spiritual community of unity. And we give thanks for this place and this space where we truly walk on a path together. A positive path for spirituality every day and in every way. We bless this community with our gratitude for all of the love, the heart, the experience of oneness that it offers. We are incredibly blessed this morning to be here, to show up and allow the living Spirit of God, the infinite Spirit of life to flow through this gathering of great love. And for this we are truly, truly grateful. And so it is.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Roger Bensinger. Welcome to Unity. We recognize each of you as wise, loving, powerful spiritual beings. Thank you for sharing your radiant presence with us this morning. We're excited to have Reverend Marcia McCartney with us today to share her message, The Tao of Play. Thank you, Reverend Marcia.
I'm excited to be here.
Apparently so. And we are pleased that you have chosen to be with us today, either in person or online. And if this is your first time being with us today in person, please pick up a welcome packet in the foyer before you leave. Please join me as we declare together our opening affirmation, which is in the bulletin or on the screen. Together, there is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. In honor of Father's Day, we have a brownie for each dad. We acknowledge each of you as an expression of the divine masculine. The brownies will be available in the fellowship after service. Jessica Noble now is going to share her unity story with us today. Jessica.
I know some of you. A lot of you are new to me. I don't get to come as often as I'd like to. But can everybody take a deep breath with me? Because that would help me. Okay, thank you. My name is Jessica Noble, and I'm honored to share my Unity story with you today. I don't know about you, but I don't know a lot of millennials that are super into church. So when I go out and somehow it comes up that I go to church, people look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, you go to church? I'm like, yeah, I go to hippie church. And it's funny how people kind of just get it, and they usually like leave me alone after that. They're like, I don't want to hear your joke story. You're kind of weird, it's okay. But the people that are closest to me that know my story really understand and have gotten to see the shift that has happened in my life since I found my spiritual home. In 2016, I was experiencing what some might call my dark night of the soul. Looking back, it feels like I woke up one day and said, how did I get here? There was probably some profanity in that feeling, but I won't share that at church today. My relationships were awful. The worst was with myself. I was in a failing marriage. I had pushed my friends and family away, and I had a 1-year-old that I was sure I was going to ruin. I'm not positive that's not happening now still, but I think I'm doing better. I was a hot mess, as I like to say. I realized that something needed to change, and I couldn't live like this anymore. For some reason, I had this feeling that I wanted to go to church. I had not regularly attended a church since I was a child, and for most of my life, I had given up on God. So it was a little bit strange that all of a sudden I wanted to go to church. Some might call it divine order. So I started doing what I would like to call church drive-bys. I would go by local churches, and I would like check out the building, try and scope out the people. I would imagine what the service was like. I understand how strange this sounds, but it's what I was doing. I was in a low place. But no matter how many church drive-bys I did, I never felt inspired to walk into one of those churches. So eventually I got desperate, and I asked my good friend Google to locate churches near me. And that's how I found Unity North Tampa. So I checked out the website, I listened to a couple meditations, and I felt compelled to come in and visit. I went to my first service at our old location. I had no idea what I was getting into. There was a band, and lots of hugging, and it was different than other churches that I'd been to. The biggest difference was that there was a meditation during the service. I don't know if anyone else has had this experience, but I cried my eyes out during that first meditation, and probably every other meditation for an entire year. I had a lot to work through, and somehow it felt really good to cry in a room full of people when I had been holding in my feelings for so long. That day after service, something incredible happened. A complete stranger came up to me, introduced herself, and invited me to sit with her in fellowship. This was an extremely meaningful moment in my life. I was so lonely, and this person was being so kind to me. The love and peace that I felt from that experience was indescribable. So of course I was hooked. I began to change, one crying meditation at a time. I don't know, probably most of you don't know this, maybe you might. I'm a crier. I think it feels great. I began to practice self-care and self-love. I sought out support and connection. I found love, joy, and peace. I decided the life I wanted to live, and I had the courage to create it. So in 2019, I finally became a member of Unity North Tampa. Today, I manage our social media, and I'm on the minister search team. And somehow I feel like I've become the unofficial representative for young people here. This is a very special place to me. This is my spiritual home. And while I wouldn't say that Unity saved me, what I would say is that Unity taught me how to save myself. Thank you.
daily devotions that inspire people around the world. As we affirm today's message, we become global prayer partners with others, sharing the same positive intentions for the good of all. We ask that you center within now and listen deeply as we share today's message. Brad Lynn will share the daily word in English, and David Lopez will share it in Spanish.
Good morning. The daily word today on Sunday is Father's love. I give thanks for my Father and all expressions of fatherly love. I treasure my childhood memories of feeling safe when my father or a father figure in my life was nearby. I remember my father's encouragement as I was learning to ride a bike, as we explored the wonders of nature together, and as he taught me to use money wisely. Even when I made youthful mistakes, my father's sometimes stern but always wise judgment helped me find the way back to my right path. I give thanks for both the sacred human and unfolding expression of God within my Father and everyone who has blessed me with fatherly love. Today I pray for my Father and for all fathers, affirming for each of them growing wisdom, understanding, and willingness to nurture others with a father's encouraging love. And the Bible scripture today from John 15, verse 9, as the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Domingo 20 de junio del 2021. La palabra de hoy es amor paterno. Doy gracias por mi padre y todas las expresiones de amor paternal. Atesoro los recuerdos de mi niñez, especialmente cuando sentía que mi padre o figura materna estaba cerca. Recuerdo a mi padre animándome cuando estaba aprendiendo a montar en bicicleta y cuando explorábamos la naturaleza. Incluso cuando cometí errores en mi juventud, mi padre me ayudó a retornar la senda correcta. Doy gracias por la manera como Dios se ha expresado por medio de mi padre. Mediante su ser sagrado y su ser humano, también siento aprecio por quienes me bendijeron con su amor paternal. Hoy oro por mi padre y por los padres por doquier, afirmando por ellos la sabiduría, la comprensión y la disposición para educar y apoyar a otros con su amor. Y de Juan 15, 9, la palabra dice, así como el Padre me ha amado, así también yo lo he amado a ustedes. Permanezcan en mi amor, y así será.
Let's listen to I Am a Gift in preparation for meditation. Feel free to hum along.
Regrets, but I promise I'll never
There may be times when I forget the truth about me. And it seems time and you are just marching on without me. That's when I might need you to find me. And ever so gently remind me that I am a gift, a precious child, put here on this earth, only for a while. So I make this vow, and I say it with love. I am perfect and whole and enough. I am a gift. I am a gift.
In this moment, at this time, I invite you to remember what an incredible gift you are. Right here, right now, you are the gift of life, living itself in your body, in your mind, and in your soul. So I invite you right now, if it feels comfortable for you, to gently close your eyes. To settle in right where you are. Find a comfortable place just to be right now, in this moment. And remember that you are the gift. As you settle down deep, with each breath, allowing yourself the serenity of surrender. Right now, there's nowhere to go or nothing to do, but simply be in this moment, in gratitude, in appreciation for remembering that you, sweet spirit, are the gift. With each breath, gently moving in and out, it's so much easier to remember who you truly are. You, dear friend, you are a precious soul that has come here at this time, this place, to share your gift. And you share that gift freely, with a smile, with a handshake, with a hug, with a kind word, a helping hand. You are an incredible gift to this place, this community, to your family, your neighborhood, your friends. Just by showing up, you are giving your gift, the gift of you. Giving your heart, giving your love, giving your peace is the most extraordinary and most magnificent gift there is. And I invite you for just a moment or two to focus on the gift you want to give and that you're being called to give. Unique to you. Precious gift of infinite life that you are. Take a deep breath now and let it out. Breathe in and out and gratitude for your remembering who you are. You are the greatest gift that has been given. Your life is a gift to all creation. And as we remember this every day, we truly make a difference in our own lives and in our world. Another deep breath. Allow a smile to come to your face. Gratitude and appreciation for this time of remembering. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen and amen.
And now we will say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from
this earth, but only for a while. So I make this vow, I say with love, I am perfect and whole and enough. I am a gift.
I love that song. Did you write that? No? Sure he did. Wow. Sure he did.
Karen Drucker.
Oh, Karen, she's one of my favorite Unity folks. Wow, you guys, I'm so glad to be here. I mean, really, to see faces, to have a congregation again that's sitting in seats and that wants to be here. You know, it's a lot different than some of the other churches we might attend. You know, we really want to be here, you know? And so I want to tell you a little bit about my talk, which is the Tao of Play. Now, the Tao of Play, the Tao, the word Tao, is the Chinese word that means the road, the path, the way. And I think it's that process of nature by which all things change. Everything changes. In which, if we follow the way, we will live a life of harmony. Yeah, that's the Tao. So play, to me, is to engage in life for enjoyment. You know, we've had enough of the other, don't you think? You know, we have had totally enough of the other. So it's really wonderful to be in a place where we can live both in harmony and in joy, to have that as a focus of life, to be the affirmation that we live our life from, no matter what's going on. We can reprogram, we can program our whole life by the words that we speak and the words that we think. So the Tao of Play is the way to live in joy and harmony as life unfolds through all its changes. Because we will always be going through changes. And to have harmony and play as our focus for our life, we can go through the evolution and the changes of life with joy. Do you agree? Yeah, I know we have a lot of stuff going on. We all do. We've had those dark nights of the soul. And we've had experiences where we didn't know if we were going to make it. But the way this happened for me, it began in the fall of 1982 at Brown Summit Retreat Center in the mountains of North Carolina. It was fall, it was beautiful, oranges and yellows and reds, you know, and I was there for a leadership retreat with my church at the time, which was the Disciples of Christ, the Christian church. That was my church in Sandy Springs, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta. And I was there. Yeah, it was an incredible experience. It was the first time, and that church, the Disciples of Christ, was the first church I attended after I got sober in 1977. Took me a few years to get back into church. This was 1983. But I attended this church, and I'd been going to AA meetings, you know, up until that time. AA, I always say, saved my life, and Unity has transformed my life, continues to transform my life. And I found found a community that was very accepting, very much like this community. The Disciples Church was very non-judgmental, and it was a very caring group of people. So I was ready for that, and I guess they were ready for me. It was in that church that I met and married my husband, my former husband, and we were both deacons in that church. I was led to go to Southern Academy, which was the leadership training for the Disciples Church. And that first morning of that retreat, I sat in awe. I sat in awe and watched the faces of 100 or more adults sitting in a circle, mostly church leaders and ministers, when a bunch of silly clowns jumped into the room, danced into the room. There at Brown Summit Retreat Center. Wow. And we were all sitting on the floor. This group of 100 or more of us were sitting on the floor in a circle on the first day of the retreat. And we had our I've got so much to do faces on. Can I see that? Does anybody have any of those faces? You know, those serious, stressed out faces that, you know, we're responsible for the world. I've got to do it right, and I've got to do it right now, you know. And then moved in these silly, outrageous fools, dancing and cavorting and skipping into the room, and not a word was said. Music playing in the background. Send in the clowns. Yeah. And our hard adult hearts began to melt. The clowns began to engage. Each soul in that circle, each adult, each clown had a bundle that they were tenderly carrying in their arms, like a babe's in swaddling clothes. You know, they were holding this in the manger of their arms. And one by one, hearts opened as the clowns offered each person in that circle a peek inside their bundle of joy. And in that bundle was, you won't believe this, a bag of sunflower seeds. What in the world? A bag of sunflower seeds. The metaphor was not of this world. It was a symbol of a divine idea that was planted in each one of our hearts in the beginning. Each heart, each soul. And as each clown connected with each adult in that circle, laughter pealed out in echoes, you know, bouncing off the walls. Laughter that truly opened our hearts. Laughter peeling off the walls at Brown Summit Retreat Center. It filled our hearts with a remembering of a long ago forgotten dream. Laughter opened our hearts, and laughter filled our souls. Laughter healed any sense of separation in that moment of unadulterated laughter. We bonded. We became one in that circle. Have you ever laughed so hard, you all, that you just couldn't stop laughing? Have you ever laughed so hard it hurt your stomach? You ever laughed so hard that you had water coming out of your eyes and maybe even other places? Have you ever had that experience? You know? It opened our hearts, that laughter. And clowns, those silly fools, became a link to a long ago forgotten little boy, a little girl, a precious child, held in each heart by these grown-ups who longed for a taste of the infinite joy of their childhood. The Tao of play. Do you remember when you lived in that space of harmony and joy every day as a little child? See, a seed was planted in our hearts that day. A seed that would lead to a deep healing of my soul. The healing took place, and my wounded, very wounded inner child met my divine wonder child. And my life, you guys, had never been the same. A seed idea that would lead to an incredible experience of outrageous play called the Planetary Play Day. In fact, it became the Noble Purpose Project of the Unity Movement in 2006. And all of our member churches all over the world focused on joy that year in 2006. It was a day and a year of remembering our oneness through harmony and joy. You see, I believe that play is a sacred relationship that we have with life. It goes beyond culture, religion, race, nationality. Play is about being in touch with the joy and the sorrow, the tears and the laughter, the bitter and the sweet of life, those dark nights and those light days of the soul. Yes, he got it. He did. You know, it's about experiencing the wonder of life, exploring the mystery. Have you ever just wanted to explore the mystery, engaging in the divine mystery within us and all around us? It's a choice that we make each day, you guys. To be kind and compassionate, to be fearless and courageous playmates in the world today. It takes courage. Hasn't it taken courage to get here to this place and this time and this space of consciousness that we hold together? And planetary play really is about the wonder and the reverence of life in its fullness. It's time to regenerate play as an evolutionary tool to heal the world of separation and division. You know, the family that plays together stays together and thrives. And to be a planetary play citizen, to play full out in the kingdom, the queendom of heaven on earth, to travel light, to be emancipated through our birthright of play. You know, we were created in play when Shakti and Shiva came together and created this swirl of life that we are. Now, that swirl is very playful, isn't it? Yay, yay, yay. And to be emancipated through this birthright, we use our evolutionary tools, what I call our divine natural attributes, our DNA of play, our beginner's mind, the flexible soul, and the big, wide, open heart of a holy fool, a sacred fool. So where are the fools? Where are the clowns, you know? I believe that Jesus, the Christ named Jesus, fulfilled the perfect description of the holy fool. The holiest of fools. You know, the innocence and the brilliance of a most sacred clown. His words his stories, his behavior fearlessly brought into focus the oppression of both the Roman Empire and the Jewish temples, religious restrictions, the dogma, the rigidness of the law. His poor peasant followers, folks like you and me, I believe that those were the first lunatics, you know, and that they didn't miss the humor in his parables, which poked fun at the rigid structure that they lived in that society. But Jesus was a holy fool indeed, in word and actions. The resurrection, fooled you, really. So there is nowhere in the scriptures that it says that Jesus laughed, but you know he did. He hung up with children. You know, he really did. He hanged out with whatever, with children, with kids. And I can't conceive of a Jesus who didn't smile and laugh and play. Perhaps it was the authors of the Gospels. You know, they didn't mention him laughing because they thought being the Son of God was serious business. You know, how many of us have taken that on in this lifetime? You know, but God, being holy, must be humorous, you know? Yet we're made in the image and likeness of our Creator, so human, so much a part of our humanity must also be pretty holy stuff. You know, there's a story by the Apache Indians. That was that, yeah, the Apache Indians. And it was about the Creator and how the Creator delighted in creating the first humans. How they could do so many things. I mean, the Creator just was so proud of its work. I mean, incredibly. They could dance, they could sing, they could run, they could jump. They could make stuff with their hands, those first humans. But, you know, Great Spirit wasn't satisfied. There was something missing. So the Creator took the first human back to the drawing board and and experimented with a little of this and a little of that. And at long last, the Great Spirit got this perfect ingredient, you know, the final ingredient. And that final ingredient was laughter. And when those first humans were given the essential element of laughter, they laughed and they laughed and they laughed. It was only upon hearing them laugh that the Great Spirit, infinite life, said, now you're ready to be human, because you're going to need it. You know, really. So this idea throughout the ages, we've had these holy fools, you know, who've helped us bring a fresh new perspective to the planet. You know, we had Einstein and Buddha and Jesus and Einstein and Dolly and Madame Curie and Leonardo da Vinci and Edison, and of course there's Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, yeah. And we're being called to be holy fools today. Yeah. For the world's sake. For the world's sake. For Christ's sake. You know, wake up. The Spirit is saying, wake up and don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. You know, as Rumi's poem, Out Beyond the Idea of Right and Wrongdoing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When one lies down in that grass, the world is too much to talk about. Don't go back to sleep. We've been in quarantine. Don't go back into quarantine. Don't go back to sleep. Today, we truly are being asked not to go back to sleep. We've had a major wake-up call. How many of us have felt that major wake-up call during COVID? I know I have. There was something in me that needed to be quiet enough to hear the Spirit speak. Don't go back to sleep. You see, holy fools are people like you and me who are making a difference in the world. I see unity, and unity folks making a difference in the world by standing up for what we believe. Having the courage to be spiritual activists, spreading the light in the dark places within us and all around us, becoming a child again, not childish, but childlike. Harmony, the way of play, joy. Using our divine natural attributes, the beginner's mind, open to what's new that's coming through. Don't go back to sleep. The flexible soul, allowing life to unfold in the glow and the flow of infinite love. Don't go back to sleep. The big, wide open heart of the holy fool to allow yourself to be vulnerable and innocent, to awaken to our divine purpose, open to the divine possibilities, and allow that divine child within you, within me, to lead the way to oneness. Don't go back to sleep. We're being called to be spiritual activists of a different kind. Acting in the name of love and compassion and understanding to those who could use some laughter and healing humor. When we put more joy back in the world, there will be more world to enjoy. And the first time that I stepped out as a holy fool, it was that same year, 1982. I lived in Atlanta, Sandy Springs. I lived in Atlanta, and I had just come back from that retreat where I first met those holy fools, and I was moved to become a clown myself. There she is, Angel the Clown. I learned how to put on the makeup, and I learned how to be a compassionate clown in the hospitals and the nursing homes, with children and the elderly and the infirm, and how to spread joy germs around and juggle and blow bubbles and be silly. Remembering that divine child within me that never left me, was always there. So I decided, you guys, to go to Grady Hospital. Grady Hospital is downtown Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta, inner city Atlanta. That was my first clown gig. And I got all clowned up. I had a red nose on, and I had blue hair, and size 14 and a half, high top sneakers, blue. They were so cool. I had glitters all over me and balloons and lots of color. Of course, my clown name was Angel the Clown, and so wings I had on, they were bright blue, and they were on my blue overalls that my mom had made for me. I drove downtown Atlanta. Oh, there you go. Somebody's calling. Yeah. God's calling. I went downtown Atlanta, and I was in my little blue for some reason, there you go, blue sports car, my Mazda 7 blue sports car. Balloons were flying, and everybody on the street was looking, and they were yelling at me, and they were going, hey, welcomed into that neighborhood. I made it to the hospital. I went to the 7th floor, where I pulled out my bubbles and my balloons, and I played with the kids with my deck of old maids, and as best I could, I played with those children and their parents and the nurses and the doctors. And what I realized, that those parents had so much courage, so much faith, and I was in awe. The healer clown, me, became the healed clown as I learned one of the greatest lessons in my life, that giving and receiving are the same. Yeah. And after playing in awe with the kids and their families, I made my way to the elevator, and I punched the down button, and around the corner comes this dude with boombox on his shoulder and a pack of Kools rolled up in his sleeves, and he had dark sunglasses on. And so the cool dude meets the angel the clown, and our eyes meet, we connect, and all I can think of is, get down on the floor, Marcia. Get down on the floor. So I sat down on the floor, and you know that he did the same. He sat in front of me, and we played what felt like hours. We played together. I pulled out this funny little green frog I had in my pocket, and we played with it on the floor like little kids. And it made no difference. It made no difference the color of our skin, our backgrounds, where we came from, our education, our politics. In that moment, we played together as little kids, and it was an incredible blessing. Do you know, I don't know his name. I never got his name. But in that moment, we became friends forever. Wow. What a blessing. So what I believe is that everyone is waiting to be asked to play. Planetary play is a divine invitation to oneness, to enter into the mystery of infinite play. We've been looking for our divine playmates all our lives, at least I have. Our inner playmate, our sacred relationship with ourselves, infusing more love into our lives, to take ourselves lighter, to love more generously and gentle, and let go and forgive ourselves more completely. Our outer playmate, our sacred relationship with others. Everyone's waiting to be asked to play. So many wonderful playmates right here. And our divine playmate, our sacred relationship with infinite life. On this, our infinite playground, our beautiful relationship with what I call home, heaven on Mother Earth. And it's up to us, you all, you and me, we, to make just this happen, heaven on Mother Earth. So I'm going to ask you a question. I just invite you to take this with you, this question with you today, that how will you contribute to creating heaven on earth today for you? Because what you do, what you give, that gift is what comes back to you. It's a circle of oneness that we're in. And that's what I call the Tao of play, planetary play. The shortest distance between two people is play, is laughter. So I invite you to just take a moment to close your eyes just for a moment. And I'm going to invite you to listen to a lullaby. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad. I feel so good. Every little cell in my body is swell. So as you leave here today, feel yourself cradled in the arms of the Tao of play. Harmony and joy is the way. Harmony and joy is the way home. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Marcia, for those inspiring and insightful words. I think we can all vote for more play. And for those of you who want to delve deeper into the cosmic sense of humor, Reverend Marcia's book is on sale in the foyer. Because of your giving, we have a weekly homeless outreach, a supportive prayer chaplain ministry, meaningful Sunday services, and classes. And because of your giving, we have our spacious, peaceful spiritual center. Thank you. On our website, unitynorthtampa.org, you can click on the donate button or send checks to our mailing address, which is in the bulletin and on our website. If you are with us in person today, please put your donations in one of the offering baskets on the wall in the sanctuary and fellowship. Thank you so much. Please join me in declaring our abundance affirmation. I am divine love and infinite abundance. All that I am, have, give, and receive multiplies and blesses me and the world. Reverend Marcia, if you want to bless the offering.
We just take a moment to be grateful. Be grateful for all of the blessings that continue to flow through our lives and through this ministry. What we give multiplies and comes back to us in amazing ways. We are so grateful for this space and this place that is spiritual home to so many beautiful souls. For all the good that continues to flow through this ministry and through our lives. We say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Would our prayer chaplains who are on duty please stand? Our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you privately after the service. Everything shared with them is absolutely confidential. Our prayer chaplains who are on duty are wearing purple stoles. Some announcements. This is your last day to get your tickets for our 50-50 drawing. The last day. For your chance to win the cash prize as well as support our ministry. Next Sunday, we'll be drawing the winning ticket, and you don't have to be present to win, but still show up. Next Sunday, the wonderful Greg Garmish will be our guest speaker, sharing his message, Let Go, Let God. If sewing is one of your skills, we'd like your help in repairing the tattered edge of our yellow unity flag on Dale Mabry that we see when we turn in. Please talk to Vicki Krasinski if you can help. You'll see Vicki's photo on the Leadership Council insert in your bulletin. Please note in your bulletins that we have our guest speaker evaluation for you to fill out. You may leave them in the basket in the foyer or in the fellowship as you leave. Please make sure, Also in your bulletins are information update forms. Our faithful admin duo are working very hard to make sure that the congregant database is up to date. We ask everyone to fill out a form, even if your information has never changed. For our friends watching online, there is a link to an online form that you can securely fill out in our weekly newsletter. We would also like to know your feelings on resuming singing live during our services. The Leadership Council will take this under advisement when deciding when to resume this favorite part of the service. There are pens in the foyer for anyone who needs one. Lastly, I'd like to, if you haven't had a chance to sign the guest book for the celebration for Reverend Virginia, it is in the connection corner. Please go and sign in and make a comment. And also there's a banner hanging out against the wall where you can leave your best wishes. And now, Vicki Krasinski, our Leadership Council co-treasurer, has a transition update for us.
And in case you're solo, you now know who I am. Also want to say, Jessica, I've met your daughter and you're doing a beautiful job.
Thank you.
On the transition team this week, the search team is going to have an online learning with Reverend Betty tomorrow evening, and then they'll be ready to start reviewing our applications. I understand we've already had a couple of applicants, so it is out on the Unity Worldwide homepage, and people are seeing our needs and wants. Also, we do want to add a video of this beautiful property, which is a big selling point for us. So if you see in the bulletin, next Saturday is going to be Cleanup Saturday here at Unity North Tampa. If you want to come out early in the day before it gets too hot, there's some weeding and yard work that we can do. And then once it gets too hot, we'll come inside and continue to wash windows, clean out the teen room again so it looks like an actual teen room where they can meet. And anybody that can come, I've already started my list of things I need to bring: a bucket, a ladder, my red juice, my blue juice for cleaning. So please join us. It'll be fun and it'll feel great at the end of the day when we stand back and take a look at what we have here. So join us next Saturday for the Unity cleanup. Know that the search team is going to have work to do very shortly, and they're getting the training they need to do it tomorrow. Thanks.
We invite you now to stand for the peace song. Feel free to hum along. And you may hold hands if you feel comfortable doing so. Let us say these affirmations from our hearts, knowing that we are spiritually empowered to move successfully through this time of transition. The light of God surrounds us. We are light. The love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is within us, and all is well.